Evet, herkese merhabalar arkadaşlar, selamlar. Evet, bu haftanın 4. ders saatinde birlikteyiz sizlerle. Kaldığımız yerden devam edeceğiz. Evet, şimdi bakalım. Evet, buradaki listening alıştırmasını yapacağız sizlerle. Hatırlarsanız bundan önceki dersimizde New York City ile ilgili bu reading teksti okumuştuk ve true false. Bir de bu alttaki 11. alıştırmayı yapmıştık. Şimdi 12 numaralı alıştırmayı yapacağız. Bu bir listening alıştırması. Burada bir tour guide konuşuyor. Biz de bu aşağıdaki boşlukları önce dinleyerek dolduruyoruz, tamam mı? Evet, hadi bakalım. Şimdi yani küçülteyim, hepsi bir görünsün. Ondan sonra dinleyelim bakalım.
Unit 9. Exercise 12.
Welcome to Manhattan's Central Park. This is where New Yorkers come to walk, cycle, line skate, and jog, or simply to enjoy the natural surroundings. There are also many water play areas in the park, which are fun and cooling on a hot day. At the northern end of Central Park is the famous Guggenheim Museum. Apart from exhibiting some of the world's best modern and contemporary art, the museum itself is an architectural icon in New York. From the outside, the building is extremely striking and looks a little like a spiraling concrete animal shell. Where should you go shopping in Manhattan? Well, Fifth Avenue and Madison Avenue offer the best in designer clothes. If you're not keen on department stores but prefer a different sort of experience, then why not try Greenwich Village, where there are gift shops, food markets, and trendy clothes boutiques with reasonable prices. Finally, you can't visit Manhattan without taking a trip to Broadway to watch a good show, play, or maybe spot your favorite star.
Evet, dinledik arkadaşlar. Şimdi birlikte dolduralım. Welcome to Manhattan's Central Park. This is where New Yorkers come to walk, cycle, line, skate or jog, or simply to enjoy the natural surroundings. There are also many water play areas in the park, which are fun and blah blah on a hot day. Water play areas, which are fun and what can it be on a hot day? Cooling, which are fun and cooling. At the blah blah end of the Central Park is the famous Guggenheim Museum. Well, at the northern end of Central Park is the famous Guggenheim Museum. Apart from exhibiting some of the world's best modern and blah blah art, what kind of art? Modern and contemporary art. The museum itself is an architectural icon in New York. From the outside, the blah blah is extremely striking. From the outside, the building is extremely striking and looks a little like a spiraling blah blah animal shell. What kind of an animal shell? Concrete animal shell. Where should you go shopping in Manhattan? Well, Fifth Avenue and Madison Avenue offer the best in designer clothes. If you're not keen on blah blah, but prefer a different sort of experience, well, you can shop in Fifth Avenue and Madison Avenue. But if you're not keen on department stores, but prefer a different sort of experience, then why not try Greenwich Village, where there are gift shops, blah blah, and blah blah clothes boutiques with reasonable prices. What was that? The 8th one. Gift shops, food markets, okay, food markets, and trendy clothes boutiques with reasonable prices. Finally, you can't visit Manhattan without taking a trip to Broadway to watch a good show, play, or maybe spot your favorite star. Spot. Evet. Boşluklar bu şekilde arkadaşlar. Ve de geldik 10. üniteye. Unit 10, Ecotourism. Okay, now we are going to read this text about ecotourism. There are paragraphs in total, 6 in total, and we are going to match these headings to each paragraph. Okay. Well, in the table about the paragraphs, we have a table, and let's read the headings. A definition of ecotourism, benefits and downsides, organizations involved, the principles of ecotourism, the future of ecotourism, and the history of ecotourism. We are going to give each paragraph the correct heading, okay? Well, they did the first one for us. Let's read the first paragraph. Any form of tourism, adventure, sports, recreational, cultural, or educational can be based on the principles of sustainable tourism because it contributes to and doesn't harm the environment it's in. However, ecotourism is a separate branch of tourism altogether, widely defined as responsible travel to natural areas that concerns the environment and improves the well-being of local people. Well, this paragraph goes with a definition of ecotourism, okay? Let's read the second paragraph and find the right heading for it. 2. What most ecotourism holidays have in common is their ecological sustainability, their support for local communities, conservation of the environment and of natural resources, their sensitivity towards cultural diversity, and their educational focus. Okay, so which heading goes well with this second paragraph? Well, there are principles of ecotourism, right? So the principles of ecotourism, this heading goes well with the second paragraph. Okay, let's read the third one. Ecotourism was developed to meet the needs of the increasing number of nature tourists who were also concerned about the environment. There was an early example of ecotourism in Kenya, East Africa in the 1970s, where people began paying to visit safari parks and the money was used for wildlife conservation. Other successful examples are the nature lodges in the rainforests of Costa Rica and Belize, and recent expeditions to Antarctica. Well, okay, we have read this, and which heading goes well with this paragraph? Well, it explains how it began, how ecotourism began first. The history of ecotourism. This heading goes with the third paragraph, right? Okay, paragraph number 4. The greatest danger with ecotourism lies in its popularity. The high number of people means there is a constant need for accommodation, transportation, and natural resources, all of which can damage the environment and natural habitats. On the other hand, ecotourism also enables us to sustain and support communities and their economies by creating jobs and investing in conservation, development, and education projects. Well, here there are two opposite sides, right? The greatest danger with ecotourism, but also the good things that comes with ecotourism. So the heading is what? benefits and downsides, right? Yes, benefits and downsides. Okay, number 5. Today, many international nonprofit organizations are involved in researching and promoting ecotourism. Some of the best known include the World Tourism Organization, the World Travel and Tourism Council, Tourism Concern, and the World Wildlife Fund. Yet, ecotourism has become so profitable that there are also many commercial organizations now focusing on this niche market. Okay, there are some organizations, right? A lot of organizations, we counted organizations. So the organizations involved, this heading goes with paragraph number 5. And the final one, paragraph number 6. Let's go. Ecotourism is currently the fastest growing market in the tourism industry. But is it too little, too late? Have we already destroyed too much of the planet with our environmentally unfriendly mass tourism? In the future, will we have to limit the numbers of visitors and increase the cost of travel in order to preserve certain destinations? In the future, it says. So the heading will be what? The future of ecotourism. Well, I think it seems that we will have to take certain precautions to protect certain destinations. So it talks about the future of ecotourism. Okay, so we have read the paragraphs and matched them with their heading. Let's move on. Yes, let's move on to the third exercise, okay? True and false. We are going to correct the false statements together, okay? Well, 1, any form of tourism can be sustainable, but that doesn't make it ecotourism. Is that correct? Any form of tourism can be sustainable. Is it correct? Well, it says true, but I want to show it to you. Any form of tourism can be based on the principle of sustainable tourism. This is the first sentence, and so it is true. 2, ecotourism usually has an educational focus. True or false? It is true, yes. It usually has an educational focus. It teaches to protect, right? 3, the earliest form of ecotourism was in Belize. The earliest form of ecotourism was in Belize. Is it true? It is false. The early example of ecotourism is in Kenya, East Africa in the 1970s. Okay. 4, the popularity of ecotourism can be a problem. The popularity of ecotourism can be a problem. In the benefits and downsides paragraph number 4. Yes, the greatest danger with ecotourism lies in its popularity. Yes, true. 5, ecotourism doesn't create jobs. Is it true? It's false, right? It creates many jobs. It says here, the benefits of ecotourism, right? Support communities and their economies by creating jobs, it says. 6, it is possible to make a lot of money from ecotourism. Is it true? True, right? Yes. And the final one, ecotourism is not a fast-growing market in the tourism industry. Is it true or false? It's not a fast-growing market in the tourism industry. Is it true or false? False, right? It is the fastest growing market in the tourism industry. Just opposite. The fastest, ecotourism is currently the fastest growing market in the tourism industry. In the last paragraph, it says just that. Okay, so Let's move on to this next exercise. Are you a good ecotourist? Take this test and find out. Well, there are 8 questions here. Well, these are all personal questions, but we are going to read them, and then we are going to match these with the quiz, okay? We are going to match these two. First, read the questions. When you are abroad, do you learn words and phrases in the local language and try to use them? It can be yes or no, but just read the question. You are just reading the questions. When you're abroad, do you learn words and phrases in the local language and try to use them? Well, I say yes. 2, when you are abroad, do you only visit places that are listed in your guidebook? Well, it depends actually. Well, sometimes yes, sometimes no, but I personally love to explore myself a little bit. 3, when you are abroad, do you use as much water as you want to wash your hair, body, and clothes? Well, using a lot of water is never a good idea, actually. I personally use water very quick as I can all the time, not just when I'm abroad, but at home. Well, when you are abroad, do you travel by public transport, hire a bike, or walk? Well, I think it greatly depends on where you are and how far you have to go and what kind of transport is available at that place, I think. Well, if you go to a place 2 hours far, then you cannot walk or you cannot hire a bike. You have to use something like a public transport or something else. I don't know. Maybe train, bus, something. It depends, as I say. Closer, then I can hire a bike or walk. Number 5, when you're abroad, do you ask people before taking photographs of them? Of course. I don't take photographs of people without telling them. It's rude, I think. I don't like people taking my photos without my permission as well. I think it's very, very rude. I think we are at number 6, right? Yes. When you are abroad, do you act and dress in the same way as you would at home? Well, again, it depends, I think. Well, when you go to a very tropical place, you can dress in the same way the people do there. Well, sometimes you cannot do it. The place does not let you, and maybe people, or maybe it may be forbidden, or people can just criticize you if you do some things, and it depends on the culture. You know, when you have to go into a place, you have to wear certain things. Well, you don't, for example, do some things in your daily life, but you have to do or act in other ways, in some places, you know, the rules, according to the rules. It depends. It depends. It all depends where you are. Well, when you are abroad, do you buy goods produced locally and eat typical local food? Well, again, it depends where you are. I try to eat typical local food, but sometimes I cannot digest it very well. Well, I think our bodies are used to certain type of food, and some type of food we are not used to them. And so it can really harm you. You cannot digest. It depends. Sometimes I can eat very well, sometimes I can't. Well, and when you are abroad, do you stay in big, luxurious, multinational hotels? Well, no, I can't. I can't do that. Well, in small places, but I think it's so much better to stay in small places and go around different places and explore unknown secrets of where you are, of the place, right? Just stay in a hotel is not a good way to spend a holiday if you're abroad, I think. So, okay, we have read this and we are going to match these two exercises together, but we are going to do it in the next hour because we are out of time right now, okay? So, evet arkadaşlar, şimdi bu alıştırmamızın kalanına haftamızın son ders saati olan videomuzda devam edeceğiz. Anlaştık mı? Evet, çünkü zamanımız doldu. O zaman haftanın son ders saatinde görüşünceye kadar kendinize çok dikkat edin. Görüşmek üzere, hoşça kalın.